Welcome to our brief overview of what charitable gifting of real estate is all about. We do have a master class that's a 3-hour deep dive on the third Tuesday of the month. This is a preview of what we're talking about that usually happens on Wednesday at noon. If you're watching the recording of this, know that you can come to a live presentation at noon on Wednesdays, and we will put in the description the link to be able to attend for live if you want to come in for questions. So my name is Cami Baker, and I am honored.
What's wrong with
I am honored that the universe saw fit to give me.
How is it broken?
This idea. This has been happening for 100 years. Charitable gifting of real estate is nothing new. It's been around since 1917. You're going to learn about that in just a minute. These gifts of real estate have been happening on a small scale, $9 billion a year up until now. But now that we have created the real agents of change and have partnered with the right resources and relationships, the goal is to bring it from $9 billion a year to $29 billion a year. And that equates to almost $2 billion a year in commission. Those numbers may seem really big to you, but we're doing it with help from people like you who are concerned citizens, fundraisers, nonprofits, realtors, property donors. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen with you. This is about a 25-minute overview, and then we'll open up for Q&A at the end. So feel free to pop any questions over in the chat. I won't answer them as we're going along, but I will answer them at the end. Now, how did I come to learn about all this stuff, and why are we all here today to learn about charitable gifting of real estate? I have a long history with real estate. I was a realtor for 15 years in New Hampshire. I have made tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of phone calls and door knocking and listing appointments. So I know what realtors need and want. I know we just want to get paid what we're worth. We just want to take more listings. We just want to be a contribution to the world. We just want to be respected for our expertise and professionalism. So I really have a good understanding of my real estate friends and the real estate profession. While I was in real estate, I bought my dream car, 64.5 Mustang convertible. With that car, I started doing car shows and just guerrilla marketing, getting out into the community to meet and mingle with lots of people. That led me to actually giving the money from the car shows to local nonprofits. And from a very meager beginning of cause marketing or partnering for profit with nonprofit, making money, making a difference, I learned very quickly that consumers and customers and all the people I was meeting, even if they weren't interested in real estate or Cami, they loved that we were giving the money to the horses at the Live and Let Live farm, or to the veterans, or to a young girl with cancer, etc. So being socially responsible is something I learned about in the trenches, and that led me into working with Ronald McDonald House and Make-A-Wish Foundation and doing car shows all over the Northeast and all kinds of fundraising. 2 years ago, December 2019, I'm at a conference and I hear the magical words, charitable gifting of real estate. What? You can fund nonprofits through real estate? How have I been a realtor for 15 years and never heard of this? How is it I worked with all these nonprofits and haven't had a clue? Going to teach about that right now. So let me share my screen. And we will my drive. Here we go. Now you'll notice that we call this legacy listings. Why? Because every donation of real estate, in order for us to give the cash to the nonprofit, we need to sell it. It's a listing. It's a real estate listing. So if we're going to list that property at a full commission with a local real estate broker, let's call them legacy listings, because every donation leaves legacy for the nonprofit, leaves legacy for the donor, leaves legacy for the realtor and everyone else involved. So how can we leverage real estate for real change in your cause, in your community, and in your company? Let's start out by talking about what is this thing? Why is this that it's been around for 100 years? 1917, United States government said, hey, property owner, you'll donate your real estate to a 501c3, you will be able to have an asset that you can sell and you can fund your programs with, and the donors will get two major tax benefits. Number one, they don't pay capital gains tax on that which they are donating, and they can write off the appraised value as the basis for their tax deduction off their adjusted gross income. So that sounds pretty simple, right? Donor has property that is, gone up in value. They're going to get hit with capital gains, etc. They've got this nonprofit that they love. They want to benefit. They want to give them the real estate. Sounds simple enough, but here's the problem. It's complicated. It's convoluted. It's risky. There's a lot of reasons that nonprofits don't take real estate, and the reason that they don't take real estate we're going to get to in just a second. So as you'll see here, $500 versus a $500,000 property. Here's the thing. There are 1.3 million nonprofits in this country. Less than a half a percent takes gifts of real estate. So if a donor were to offer 500 cash or $500,000 piece of property, 99.9% of nonprofits will take the cash, say no to the real estate. It is the nonprofits themselves that are actually stopping this from happening. And friends, there's a good reason for that. There's lots of good reasons, and we are not suggesting for one moment that your nonprofit start taking real estate themselves. So the problem is that the nonprofits have no expertise in real estate. So even if I sit on their board, as much as I know about all this, the other thing is they don't have any capital. So, inherently real estate is an expensive process. There's mortgages to be paid off and roofs to be put on and holding costs and decisions and all the things that need to happen. So they don't have the expertise, they don't have the capital. We don't want them having what we call mission drift. We don't want a nonprofit who has been created for a mission to save the veterans, feed the puppies, clothe the children, save the environment. Any of the reasons that they've been created, they need to stay on their mission, not getting pulled off and drifting off trying to figure out real estate. Look, lots of nonprofits have either had bad experiences or they've heard about bad experiences. And even though some of these are blown out of proportion, the fact is there are bad experiences of nonprofits who took real estate not really knowing what they're doing, and they're still saddled with that real estate years later and don't know what to do with it. Now, there are some nonprofits that will accept real estate on a very limited basis. For example, there are community foundations. There are thousands of community foundations all over this country, and some of them will take real estate if it's local, if it's mortgage free, if it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. But what about the real estate they could be benefiting from all over the country or all over the world? We're going to talk about that. Some of them, a lot of them, have restrictive gift policies. They have it written right in their bylaws. We do not take non-cash assets. We most definitely do not take real estate. And at the end of the day, friends, what we're saying is it is really, really risky. We get it. These are all true. These are all problems, and these are all reasons why nonprofits do not accept real estate. But here's the opportunity. $474 billion a year is donated to nonprofits. 75% of that, by the way, from individual people, not corporations. 90% of all those billions of dollars, 90% of that comes from cash. But there's less than 3% of cash available in the pocket of the average American. So all this money is coming from cash, very limited, only 3%. However, $9 billion a year comes from real estate. Now, whether that sounds like a lot or a little, it is only 2% of that 474 billion. Yet, as we know, as real estate professionals, 43% of America's wealth is held in real estate. So let's kind of put that together. 90% is coming from less than 3% cash. Only 2% is coming from the 43% of wealth that we have as a nation. The numbers don't really jive there. What's the deal? So there is a solution. Specialized nonprofit. Specialized nonprofit that we like to work with the most. These guys, there's 4 of them. They came together. They each have decades of experience in commercial real estate development, all of the aspects of real estate, and all of them also sat on boards with very philanthropic. They all noticed this a couple of decades ago. Why is it that our nonprofit friends are not benefiting from the 43% of wealth that we have in this country? So long story short, they all came together and they created their best solution for this. It's called a specialized nonprofit. The specialized nonprofit is the bridge. It's the go-between. It is the third party that takes title and financial responsibility on behalf of any of the 1.3 million nonprofits. This allows any and all nonprofit to benefit from gifts of real estate, not accept them, not change their acceptance policies. They can now benefit from gifts of real estate at no risk, no out-of-pocket expense, and no need to accept real estate, just benefit from the proceeds. Now, maybe you recognize some of these logos. These are all organizations who have received a check from our team. Let me say that again. You know, half of these, at least, they've all benefited from a gift of real estate. Interestingly enough, though, they have Girl Scouts, Habitat for Humanity. The majority of these have locations all over the country, hundreds, sometimes thousands of subgroups. They don't all talk to each other, so they don't know that they can benefit from real estate. That's why the Real Agents of Change was created, so that we can help you help these organizations in your own marketplace. Fidelity Charitables is the largest of the 1.3 million nonprofits in this country. Even they don't take their own real estate. They leverage our team to do this. So the moral of the story is all kinds of nonprofits are already benefiting in that 9 billion that we've been talking about. Our goal is to add to that. With your help, we can funnel millions, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars into the nonprofit pipeline and pay our real estate agents a full commission to do that. So think about the universities in your area, the churches, the public radio, etc. These are already getting funded, and with your help and our help helping you, we can do it in your marketplace. So here's what it looks like. Donor says, I love Trevor Project. I want to donate a piece of real estate to the Trevor Project. And this piece of real estate is anywhere in the country. When they donate, the specialized nonprofit steps in as the bridge, because the Trevor Project doesn't accept real estate. It's complicated. It's convoluted. What if this real estate has $1 million mortgage on it, but it's a $3 million appraisal? In other words, $2 million could be going to the nonprofit, but they don't have $1 million to pay that off. That's okay. Specialized nonprofit does. So they, specialized nonprofit, take title, they list it with a real estate agent, they sell it, and then they give the proceeds, in this case, to the Trevor Project, because that's the donor's desire, is for it to go to the Trevor Project. It could go to 1, 3, 5, 10 nonprofits. It could go into a donor advised fund. The point is that we are helping to liquidate these hard assets so that nonprofits can get funded. So let's talk about the benefits. There is the nonprofit, there is the donor, and there is the advisors or real estate agents. This is what I call the triangle of trust, the three-legged stool. Now, these benefits are based on leveraging our team and a specialized nonprofit to handle these transactions. If you're seeing this presentation and your nonprofit's wanting to go figure it out on your own, God bless, give her a go. But here's the thing, we cannot guarantee that there is no risk and all reward if the nonprofits are doing it themselves. What we are saying is, through our system and how we do it, nonprofits never take title, they never come out of pocket to pay off mortgages, etc. There is no risk for them. There is no traditional fundraiser. So instead of spending the 3 to 6 months putting together a golf tournament that may or may not happen, it could get rained out. It could be that there's a new variant of COVID and they just canceled the damn thing. So instead of doing a traditional fundraiser, here's a way for them to bring in hundreds of thousands of dollars without that, because the average donation is $550,000 for a residential donation, $900,000 for a commercial donation. Friends, there is no need for new donors. We cannot say this enough. Our friends in nonprofit tend to think, well, I don't know anybody who would donate real estate. Well, that's because you've never asked them. And frankly, it's a good thing you haven't, because up until now, you wouldn't have had a solution, but we have one. There is no need for new donors. The current donors on the nonprofits list will give 3 to 7 times more when they can give non-cash assets, and in our case, real estate. Now, everyone has a Linda. This is one of our favorite stories at the Real Agents of Change. There's a nonprofit, National Jewish Health, brings in hundreds of millions of dollars a year. They have 300,000 donors on their list. One of their donors is Linda. Linda's got a cabin in the Poconos. Linda's been donating $25 a year for 32 years. And if you had put those 300,000 donors on a list, she probably would have been in the last 1% of people that they would have expected would donate real estate, considering she's only been given $25 a year for 32 years. But guess what? Linda learned that she could donate real estate. Linda had a cabin in the Poconos. Linda donated that real estate because she wanted the convenience of it, number one. Number two, she wanted to help her nonprofit. Number three, she wanted the tax benefit. So the moral of the story with Linda is, everyone has a Linda. Everyone knows someone who's donated $25 a year for years, who volunteers to clean up at the kennel, who shows up at the church benefits to help out and does the penny sale. Those people have real estate. We've just never talked to them before, but we can help you with that. And these donors that already exist will start giving more cash. I was speaking with the fundraiser at National Jewish about a month ago. She said that since Linda donated that real estate, she now gives $500 a year. Isn't that interesting? That she went from $25 a year to donating tens of thousands of dollars and now gives them $500 a year. There's something psychological about showing up as a bigger contribution and wanting to stay that way. Now, 6 times their endowments. Benefit to nonprofits. Nonprofits can grow their endowment by 6 times when they are accepting gifts of real estate. Dr. Russell James is a good friend of the Real Agents of Change. He and his team read 1 million tax returns from 200,000 nonprofits over a 5-year period, and they have proven that when you're accepting non-cash assets, in our case, real estate, six times as much. And for the nonprofits who are already accepting real estate, bravo, good for you. Typically, you're accepting them on a local basis that are mortgage free and easy to handle. What about all the other thousands of donations that you could be benefiting on in other parts of your state or other parts of the country or other parts of the world? Perhaps you'd like to expand your marketplace. Ultimately, the benefits to the nonprofit include being able to leave the legacy that they've always wanted to leave. Instead of spending all of their time putting together fundraisers that may or may not even happen, what if they just got funded? What about the donors? Sounds good. Nonprofits need money, got that, but who in the world would actually donate their property and why? Well, the first reason that they do is convenience. That story about Linda lived 6 hours away from that cabin. Every time she drove there, she had to get a hotel room because it was in such disrepair. She didn't know any contractors. She didn't have any idea about real estate. It was convenient for her to hand over the keys. Also, donors can receive partial cash payment. So in other words, if the donation is $1 million condo and the donor says, you know, I love the Trevor project. I don't love them that much. I'd like to get my 300,000 I paid for this place out when I bought it 10 years ago. They can do that. They can receive money to pay off the mortgage. They can purchase replacement life insurance for the heirs who are not going to get that building anymore. They can do whatever they want with the money. They can get cash out. They do not have to donate the full value. Also, donors love being able to give smarter. When they can give from their wealth bucket versus their cash reserve, wow, not only does that open up their ability to give 6 times more, the fact is their wealth bucket gives them better tax advantages. This gives them the ability to give smarter. And another little key about this, donors are not on just one donor list. These donors are on 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 donor lists. They're given to a lot of nonprofits. And if your nonprofit is not letting them know about it, another nonprofit will, and another nonprofit is going to give them the ability to give smarter, and you're going to miss out on the donation. Donor benefit, no capital gains tax. No capital gains tax is a big topic right now in the real estate industry, and donors can leave legacy. Look, Linda had been given $25 a year for 32 years. That shows a bit of commitment, shows a bit of desire to help, shows that she wanted to be a contribution. Now she's donated this real estate, $39,000 went to that nonprofit. And even though that nonprofit has received millions of dollars from one person before, for Linda, she was able to leave legacy, to make a big splash for her community. They even did a photo shoot and put her picture on postcards that they send out to people talking about gifts of real estate. Donors want to leave legacy. Now let's talk about the advisors. And let's bulk the advisors together for a minute. This is anyone who is advising people who own real estate. Realtor, financial advisor, CPA, estate planning attorney, etc. One of the benefits to them is they can make money making a difference. I was just talking with one of our new real agents of change, and she was mentioning, look, there's a handful of nonprofits that I love, but my time is limited. The amount of money I can give is limited. I just can't help everyone that I want. Well, guess what? She can now. And she can make money from making a difference. She, you, we all can support lots of causes, because when you show up as the charitable real estate specialist, whether you're a realtor or a financial advisor or an estate planning attorney, you have a tool that the others in your marketplace and industry do not have. And dozens of nonprofits need your help. Their donors need your help. Their staff needs your help. This is a way to support all causes in your community and get paid to do it. Unique sales proposition. Friends, this opens doors. This gives us access to high net worth clients. This gives us a way to solidify the relationships with the current clients we have. See, when your current clients see that you are learning about tools and solutions and options and opportunities that no one else in your marketplace is providing to them, they're going to want to continue to work with you. They're going to want to introduce you to their friends who have property that they need to donate. In other words, unique sales proposition is off the charts. This gives you the ability to have a charitable real estate division in your marketplace and have that credibility. Now, real estate agent, full commission to list these donations. Cut and dry, very simple. When a donation is made, no matter where it is in the country, 99.99% of the time, it needs to be sold to give the cash to the nonprofit that the donor wants to have it. Real estate agents are a necessary piece of the equation. And with our organization and our system, you get paid a full commission to do it. Now, the other part of that sentence, increase assets under management. This is specifically talking to our financial advisor friends. Financial advisors get paid fees to manage assets under management. When we can show them how to liquidate a hard asset like real estate and put it into a donor advised fund or pull cash out to buy life insurance policies, etc., they are happy about this as well. So the moral of the story is we are here to not only lift the veil, open your eyes to something that you weren't aware of, but to help you not just be reactive, but proactive. Now that you know a little bit about real estate, if it were to come up at a party or you randomly had somebody over the next 20 years bring it up, you could react and you could maybe speak intelligently about it. But what we are suggesting is instead of waiting to react, what if you were proactively looking for and talking to people and bridging the gap and getting connected with high net worth and influential people? See, knowledge allows you to be reactive, but action steps and support give you the ability to be proactive and confidently, assertively find donations of real estate for your nonprofits, for your business and company, for your community. Knowledge is not power until it is applied, and that is why the solution here is the Real Agents of Change, the RAOC. Here's what we do. Here's why you want to know who we are. Here's why you want to partner with us. We provide vetted resources and relationships, including the specialized nonprofits. As you Google and do your research, you might find several of them, and you might find that some of them keep 100% of the proceeds of the donation. Some of them will accept cars for maybe kids, and they accept real estate, and they will give a tax deduction to the donor, but what they don't give is the ability to fund the nonprofits that the donor wants. They keep 100%. So there's lots of different variations around how this works. What we have are the specialized nonprofits who keep the least amount, who will give the proceeds to any and all 1.3 million nonprofits, who pay real estate agents a full commission and are the nicest guys you ever want to meet. The other thing that the RAOC provides is the ability to be proactive. The emails, the social media, the scripts, the presentations, just like this one that we can do with you and for you to your tribe. We're launching a national database. There's this map, and as people are getting certified, they're showing up on the map, and you hover over the map and you can find the real estate agents that are certified, the financial advisors, even the nonprofits, all of the resources and relationships to make these campaigns work. We have the only programs that are creating charitable real estate specialists, charitable real estate divisions all over the country. We are the only organization in the world that is providing information, education, certification, but more importantly, teaching how to leverage real estate for real change. We are visionary. We are all about collaboration. We are bringing people together to make money, making a difference. So here's the next steps. If you're sitting in on this presentation, you've been invited by someone, whether it was me or a local real estate agent or a nonprofit, etc. And we find that there's four kinds of people that show up. Now, this first kind, I actually have never met yet, but we want to put it in here to encapsulate everyone. It could be that you're here and you just have no need for this. Like you don't know a nonprofit, you're not wanting to help your community, you don't know real estate agents that want to make more money, you don't know financial advisors. Like if this is of no interest to you, we just want to thank you for coming. And we want you to know you're going to continue to hear about this at Christmas parties, at birthday parties, around the water cooler at the office. Charitable gifting of real estate has already been a hot topic, but with our help is bringing it into the Main Street population. So when you hear about it, now you know who to come to help. So thanks for coming. But moreover, there are people here who say, I have a piece of real estate. I think that it would actually be a good donation. How do I get it evaluated? Well, we have an evaluation form. You fill out the form and we introduce you to the specialized nonprofit, and they help you make a good business decision. Is this a great tax write-off for you? Do you want to help the nonprofits you love? Does this feel good to you? Is it the right step for you? We don't know, but when you reach out to us and then we put you with a specialized nonprofit, we can get that property evaluated. Now, some of you are saying, okay, never heard of it, but it makes sense. You make some good points. There's 1.3 million nonprofits. None of them really take real estate. That's why I've never heard of it. $9 billion is donated. I would like to learn more. Awesome. We have a video library. You can go to therock.com/FAQS for the top 10 most asked questions. You can go to our interview series where I interview the specialized nonprofit and I interview Dr. Russell James and realtors and nonprofits and all the people that we're playing with and working with. Go have at it. You can sit in on the deep dive, which we did yesterday. It's the third Tuesday of the month. It's live on Zoom. And with this link, you can sit in for free. For now, won't always be free, but if you have this link, you can sit in for free. It's a 3-hour deep dive that answers the majority of the questions you have right now. Now, some of you are saying, holy cow, I know lots of people that need to learn about this. I know a whole board of people at the nonprofit that if they knew about this, they would be on fire. Awesome. Maybe you're a nonprofit who says, I don't know about the board, but my donors need to know about this. Holy cow, the donors knew that they could give us real estate? Yes, please. How do we let them know? Some of you might have a real estate company, whether you have 500 realtors yourself and you'd like to make money off of the full commissions, whether you want to grow a company or grow a team, we can help you do that. So if your real estate company needs to know about this, maybe you have a financial services company and you say, holy cow, our financial advisors have always known that a gift of real estate is a great tax deduction. We just never knew a nonprofit that would take real estate. Thank you. Maybe your clients need to know. Maybe your real estate investor group needs to know. Your nonprofit networking group. The point is, if you're one of those people who the light bulb has already gone off for you, and yeah, you want to sit in on the class, and sure, you want to learn more, but even more importantly, you see the benefit of bringing this to your tribe, we can do a presentation like this for you. Whether you're a real estate agent who wants all of your clients to know, or a nonprofit who wants all of your donors to know, friends, this is what we do. We educate, we inform, and you'll notice we're not selling or convincing. One of the things that I love about this. So we have these options and opportunities coming up to promote this on a massive global scale. Legacy listings, real estate for real change. The book is coming out in the next 60 days or so. Dr. Russell James has written the foreword for this book, and he says in that book, it's nice that nonprofits get $50 here and there, but if they really want to have an impact, they need to take non-cash assets, and the biggest one has always been and will always be real estate. And you hold in your hands with this book the key to unlock that funding. Other thing is National List of Legacy Listing Month. It's in April. It is a nationally recognized holiday or month of PSA, public service announcement. You can be a part of that. You can help us help you by helping your community know that they can be a part of the awakening. So in conclusion, here is my contact information. Feel free to write it down. I am real, raw, relatable, and reachable. You can text me, email me, carrier pigeon, smoke signal, call, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever works for you. We are on a mission. Our mission is to support and fund your mission. Our purpose is to support and fund your purpose. And you can write down these websites as well. So on that note, gonna open it up for any questions that you have, anything that I can help clear up for you, please ask, because if you're thinking it, someone else is too, and they need to know the answer. Yes, Rhonda.
So I wrote it in the chat, but so let's say I secure a donor, locally, but maybe they have that property in the Poconos and they want to sell it. Obviously, I can't represent that transaction. So how would that work as far as commissions go?
Sure. We're going to make sure you get a referral fee.
Okay.
So just like any other transaction that you bring to the table and there would be a realtor, right? Mm-hmm. You're with EXP, aren't you?
I am.
So let me take that just a step further for you. Imagine your ability to reach out to 10 realtors in the Poconos in your example. And those 10 people, you can let them know, hey, we've got a listing coming up in the Poconos. It's a full commission listing. It has to do with charitable gifting of real estate. Just want to let you know, blah, blah, blah. Now you've broken the ice. You've gotten your foot in the door. You've created a relationship. It gives you the reason to bring to their attention later. We're not baiting and switching, right. But later, now they've met you and now they could become a member of your team. Mm-hmm. So just want to help everyone kind of expand that charitable gifting of real estate is how we fund nonprofits and how we pay you a full commission. And what are the other resources and relationships and revenue that could be tapped into because of this sophisticated, unique conversation that no one else is having?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who else would like to ask a question?
Hey, Cami.
Hey, Shannon.
Hey, I have a showing at 1, so I can't join the Realty Gift group Zoom, but I would really like to. Is that a recurring opportunity?
It is a recurring opportunity, the first, second, and third Wednesday of the month. Just for others on here who don't know what that is, the specialized nonprofit that we play with is realtygiftfund.org. And the relationship that we have with them is that they support those who are certified and part of our tribe. So when you become certified, and preferably do the legacy launch pad so that we can help you with your marketing and all that fun stuff, then you'll have access to them those 3 times a month. And you'll get Bruce's cell phone number and email address. You can, bring a donor to a conversation with him anytime. We just want to. They are so busy, and they have so many deals and success stories going on that we can't just have any and everyone that learns about this go in and try to pick their brain. If people aren't committed enough to at least get certified and be a part of the tribe, then they can't come to that call. This week was just to give you guys a taste and give you the opportunity to get introduced. Let me see what this question is. Rhonda, would you would refer it to the RAOC in that area and get a standard referral fee? Sure. Yeah, that's basically what I said. Sam, what about you, friend? What's your question?
First of all, thank you, Cami, for doing this. It's my brain's just exploding right now. I do a newly licensed realtor class every day, and I already have people that are interested in. I started talking about this and the power and what you could do in your community. and I have so many people. I had like 4 or 5 in my room yesterday that were interested. Is there a, how do I say it without being like, is there an affiliate type connection
Yes,
if I got other agents involved?
yes. My team can create an affiliate link for you. And so 2 things. The answer to that is yes. You can
Okay.
get a 25% referral fee. Now, if they're getting certified or doing the Legacy Launchpad, you know, $250 from Legacy Launchpad right now. Now,
Yeah.
over the next couple of months, the Legacy Launchpad is going to go to $3,000 and you would get, you know, $750 or whatever as that referral fee. But on top of that, Sam, on top of the few $100s here and there, a few thousand,
Hmm.
is that when you're growing a team of certified charitable real estate specialists, the PR, I mean, imagine if when someone on your team has a property in New York or LA or Florida or Chicago or wherever they are, and you and all the rest of your team can promote that. Oh my God, Bill Smith has a listing in Chicago. When it sells, our veterans are going to get $852,000. You can't pay for PR like that.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
the ability to recruit more agents. So yes, you get an affiliate fee, but I would also counsel you to do big branding with that.
Oh, absolutely. And actually, I would love to have you in my room one day. It's usually like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, Pacific Standard Time. I would love you to come into my room as my guest on Clubhouse. I don't know. Are you active on Clubhouse?
I was, but I'm not anymore. It's open to Android now, right?
Absolutely. It is open to
Okay.
Android, and I'm up to about 200 followers right now on my room. And I stream it on Facebook. I stream it on my YouTube. I stream it on my LinkedIn. So it's not just the people that I see on Clubhouse. It's more of actually it's a pretty huge amount of people through my Facebook. I got about 5,000 followers on Facebook too. So there's so many people we can connect with and to educate them on what this is.
For sure. I'd love to help you with that. And also this Wednesday noon event we do every Wednesday. So you're welcome to invite them to this. For people who have a big enough team, you know, people who have 100, 200, thousands of followers like Gene Frederick and others, I'll go in and do a specific meeting just for them and their team. And I can certainly do that for you and the nonprofits you love and your current clients. Like, guys, this is all about social proof. You know, we can talk to one person at a time, which we've done for the last couple of years. But at this point, it's good to have 8, 10, 15, 20 people on here because Rhonda brings 2 and Shannon's got 3 and Sam brings his team. The more people that are on here and see other people around the country, the better for everyone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate it. I appreciate what you're doing. I'm really excited to get started, as well as to find out how we can actually, I'll communicate you on the back channel on your text. I'll send you a text later.
Yep. And I assume, I hope that all of you are going to be on the strategy call tomorrow night, because that's much more informal and we can ask more specific questions and, you know, turn off our backgrounds and just get in it, like really talk about it. Okay.
I appreciate you.
For sure. Thank you. I appreciate you. Anybody else? Patrick, you got something to say? I see your pretty face.
No, just absorbing more every time I come to one of these presentations by you, and getting my back end library set up with your awesome assistants, Grace and Danielle. I did have one question about the legacy library. There's a spot on there that said for donors, where you go in there. Can you cut and paste that link and send that out to a donor, or is that something that we just have for our own knowledge?
I would have to see what you're talking about. Can you give me a little bit of a description?
Yeah, it's in the legacy library. So it's under the menu, and if you go to, I think it might be frequently asked questions or
want to be in a vacuum. We don't do everything by ourselves, but having that time as a lone wolf, as a young person, I think has just made me that much more capable today to help other people in our mission. You know, especially with charitable gifting of real estate and leading nonprofits and realtors and donors to have the legacy that they want to have. I think that that time to be introspective, even as a child, was very beneficial for me. And it also helped me actually, you know, part of my story that I bring up as often as I can is around my alcoholism. And you know, as a child and then leading into my teenage years and even into young adulthood, the alcoholism made me even more of a loner, kind of hiding out with the bottle, as it were. I think that the older I've gotten, the more comfortable I've become leading and being in bigger groups of people.
Wow. Wow. Well, definitely alcoholism and drug abuse and what you have to go through to overcome that gives you a different perspective and definitely a lot of introspection going on. So tell us a little bit, how did you get to where you are today with this wonderful program you've got? How'd you start out?
Well, there's the long version and there's the short version. So we'll get right down to a couple of years ago. I was at a conference and I learned the magical words charitable gifting of real estate, but I heard it, Connie, with a different filter than I guess any other person on the planet, because I had so much experience in real estate, 15 years of being a top 5% realtor in New Hampshire. And when I was a real estate agent, I did a lot of what I call cause marketing, you know, marketing my business with the cause in mind. And so I had done a lot of fundraising and working with a lot of nonprofits. And when I brought that real estate background and the nonprofit background together, the filter that I heard charitable gifting of real estate with said, what a great way for my realtor friends to be able to have a unique sales proposition and help dozens or hundreds of nonprofits in their marketplace. And then on the other side, wow, what a great way for us to help our nonprofit friends without doing traditional fundraisers and writing grants. And all of it bringing together the ability to help people who own real estate to actually leave a legacy and to have tax benefits that they couldn't have. And so 2 years ago, when I heard about this, it was just before the pandemic happened. And a couple months later, when the pandemic hit, it gave me all the time in the world to really just delve into charitable gifting of real estate and study it and interview people who donated and nonprofits who benefited. And you know, over the last couple of years, I've become an expert in this field myself, and I'm just honored to meet people like you who understand the benefit of bringing real estate and nonprofit together.
I have to tell you, well, you know, I mentioned to you earlier that I just got my nonprofit in November. I'm still waiting for the final bank approval for the checking account, but so I can start accepting money. But when I first talked to you, I went, wow. Now, I'm definitely going to want to be one of those nonprofits that are a recipient of what you have to offer. So tell us, what are the benefits to the donors? What are the benefits to the real estate agents? And what are the benefits to the nonprofit that will make people want to jump on board?
Sure. Well, I'll give you a couple in each of those, what we call the triangle of trust. Those three stakeholders that you just mentioned are clearly the ones that are the most benefited. I do want to say that we have a master class that we teach live the third Tuesday of the month, is coming up tomorrow, as a matter of fact. And I want to invite your viewers to sit in on the master class free of charge when they tell me that they came from you. And we go over lots and lots and lots more reasons and ways that this benefits. But for example, the donor. Now, first and foremost, it benefits them because they can finally leave the legacy that they truly want to, instead of being limited to the cash reserve that they have, and having to pick and choose the nonprofits that they have enough cash to give to. They can actually donate from their wealth bucket of real estate. So first and foremost, it gives them the ability to give more, which is what they really want to do. However, from a tax perspective, there's two basic reasons that they benefit. Number one, no capital gains tax on that which they donate, which is a big deal in today's market. Number two is that they can write off the appraised value as the basis for their tax deduction, which can save them hundreds of thousands, in some cases millions of dollars in taxes. So that's one reason for the donors. Shall I go ahead and give you why it benefits the nonprofits?
Please do.
Well, look, you know, the average gift from a gift of real estate, the average donation is $550,000. So, you know, we'll just use your nonprofit as an example. You know, traditional fundraisers take you 3 to 6 months to put together, and committee meetings and all those hours and time, and asking our friends to buy raffle tickets and show up at an event that may or may not even happen in today's world. You know, instead of doing all of that, to just educate and inform and let the people that love you and want to support what you're doing know that you can benefit from real estate. $550,000 average donation, number one. Number two, with real estate, with nonprofits, I mean, you know, what better way to be able to have someone like yourself partner with the real estate community than to be able to let your real estate friends know that they can actually make money by helping your nonprofit. So share with us, I know this is my interview with you, but share a little bit about your nonprofit so that we can wrap our heads around how this would help your nonprofit.
Well, it kind of goes along, just like you. I have a certification called Crisis Knowledge Management, and my goal is to help 30 million people be better prepared over the next 5 years. In order to do that, the real estate community is by far the best source for that, because they're out there trying to make a difference in the community anyway. So, and just like you, making a difference is very important to most realtors. So my nonprofit, the mission of it is to educate, to provide support, including things like we have an initiative called Kits for Kids, that we want to put an emergency kit in the hands of every child. And by doing so, just maybe the parents will decide they need to have an emergency kit and they need to have plans. So we're wanting to offer education and support and resources that will help people to be better prepared for not just natural and man-made disasters, but other kinds of crises that happen as well. And as we've seen, our world is really turned upside down when it comes to what's happening, from the pandemic all the way up to floods and storms. And last week on Saturday, a tsunami. So, so it's all about giving back and helping to educate the public on what they really need to do to save their lives and to be better prepared for recovery.
Well, so Gifts of Real Estate, how this helps your nonprofit is, instead of getting tied up in all that fundraising, and you know, nonprofits spend so many hours, days, weeks, months out of every year fundraising. If we can help you just stay on your mission, do that which you were created to do, instead of wasting a whole bunch of time fundraising, let's just get you funded. I mean, 1 or 2 or 3 donations a year would create a lot of those kits for the kids that you're talking about. And then a couple of reasons that this benefits the real estate agents, as I've alluded to, they get paid a full commission. So every gift of real estate, I mean, every now and then there's a gift that's actually a piece of land or a building that the nonprofit can manage and move into and maintain. It might be the perfect building for their office, but the majority of the time, 99.9% of the time, when a donation of real estate is made, it needs to be sold. We've got to liquidate that property in order to give your nonprofit all of the money. And so we need realtors for that. We need listing agents all over the country. So we're paying them a full commission. And that's really important to say that, because when we say charitable gifting of real estate, a lot of the times realtors think, well, that's great, and I want to help, but you know, I don't want to work for free. That's okay. We don't want you to work for free. We want to pay you. So number one, the realtors get paid to do it, But another thing about it is it gives them such a unique sales proposition. This is the secret real estate niche that is funding nonprofits by the billions. And I guarantee your viewers that no one in your marketplace right now is an expert in this unless they've already met us at the Real Agents of Change. Now, over the next 5 years, that's going to change and people are going to know about charitable real estate everywhere. But right now, it is a unique sales proposition that opens doors, that gives them access to high net worth individuals, and that gives them a reason and a way to be the go-to realtor for dozens or hundreds of nonprofits and high net worth individuals in their marketplace that they might not have had access to.
Wow. Well, okay, so I can kind of see the downside for a nonprofit if they don't go through an organization like yourself, because probably they don't have the manpower. They may not have the know what they need to do. There's mortgages to be paid off. There's all this stuff that needs to be done. So it's probably difficult for a nonprofit to try and take this on themselves. So it's probably the number one reason. How does it work with your organization? How do you make that transition of the property?
Well, thank you for mentioning that, Connie, because we do not want to give the wrong impression that we are telling nonprofits that they should be accepting gifts of real estate. If they're doing it on their own, it can be very complicated, very risky, very time consuming, and it can cost a lot of money to pay off mortgages and hold and manage and maintain these properties. So what happens is, let's use your nonprofit as an example. What's the name of your nonprofit?
Crisis Knowledge Management and Preparedness Foundation.
Wow, that's a mouthful. I'm going to call it the Crisis Foundation for this.
That's fine. CKM Foundation. How's that?
CKM Foundation. So there are donors out there who are going to want to donate to CKM because they understand your mission and they want our families and friends to be safer as well. So when they have this piece of real estate, let's call it $1 million condo in Florida, they want to donate that piece of real estate to your nonprofit. But what if that $1 million condo has a $300,000 mortgage? See, in order for the donor to get the tax advantages that they're wanting, it needs to be donated to a 501c3, and it needs to change hands just like any other piece of property, free and clear of any liens. So your nonprofit probably doesn't have $300,000 sitting around to pay off mortgages and holding this real estate in a town you've never been to. So what happens is we have that specialized nonprofit. We have that partner, that collaborator that can actually pay that mortgage off, take title, list the property with a real estate agent at a full commission, and then give the money to your nonprofit. So it's really a simple process. We are the third party. We are the go-between that helps any and all donors to give any and all kinds of real estate to any and all nonprofits, in this case, yours.
I'll take it. So,
well, and it's a good thing that you will, Connie, because, here's the thing. There are 1.3 million nonprofits in this country. And up until now, if someone were to come to your nonprofit, or 99% of them, with a check for $500 or the deed to a property worth $500,000, you'd be kind of taking the $500 cash and thankful for it. But the fact is, when you have a third party like us that can be the go-between and remove all risk, it just makes it easier for you. And it gives you a way to bring in 6 times that which you normally would for cash.
Wow. Well, this sounds like it's a win-win-win scenario, like I talked about earlier, but certainly a wonderful way of giving back to the community, because we all have our special nonprofits that we want to support, and what a great way to do it. So it's a deduction for the person donating.
Yep.
The nonprofit doesn't have to worrying about the property itself, because you have a third entity nonprofit that handles all of that. And the real estate agent that's involved gets full commission.
Yep.
Are there any downsides?
None that I'm aware of. This is such a win-win-win that I think people they're kind of looking for that. They're like, well, what is the downside? But there just isn't one. I mean, we get paid as the Real Agents of Change, as the marketing arm. So any of these donations that go through our third-party specialized nonprofit, they pay us. They pay us a marketing fee to bring it to the table. So there really is no downside. And the specialized nonprofit keeps about 5% of the proceeds. That's how they keep their doors open. So nonprofits are getting 95% of a contribution that they wouldn't have gotten any of without this specialized help. So it makes all the sense in the world for everybody involved.
Are there properties that are better than others to fit into this program?
Great question. So any kind of property can be donated, anything but a timeshare. So it can be commercial, it can be residential, it can be raw land. The only thing that we want is a property that is marketable, meaning so often people say, well, are you looking for properties that others can't get rid of, or something that somebody's had on the market for 10 years and they can't sell it, we'll just give it to you. Well, the fact is, when they give it to us, we're going to be able to do things to make it marketable. But marketable simply means we want property that you can sell very quickly. In other words, well, as a matter of fact, our specialized nonprofit just took a piece of property in the last 30 days that is a $2 million commercial land that actually they said could take 3 or 4 years for them to sell. But they understand how this stuff works. They know what the holding cost is for it. So that, from their perspective, is still marketable. But typically, any property that's donated is something that's going to close very quickly.
Wow. Okay, so you have your training the third Tuesday. Let me get the date right. The third Tuesday of every month. How long is the training, and what time do you normally start?
Well, we do the training from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern time on the third Tuesday. You can go to therock.com/VIP to sit in on that class. And if the third Tuesday doesn't work for you, we actually also have it in an online portal. And for, I don't know, like $47 or something, you can take the class online anytime, day or night as well.
That is awesome. That is awesome. What is your website again?
So as you can see how it's spelled behind me, The Rock, RAOC, therock.com is the website, and therock.com/VIP is for your free seat in the masterclass. And there's also therock.com/FAQS for our top 10 most asked questions.
That is so awesome. Cami, this program just sounds absolutely amazing. And I look forward to having a realtor help me.
Well, you know what, Connie, here's the thing. Every donor, the ones who love you, also love the animals and the veterans and the kids, and they are on lots and lots and lots of donor lists. So you and I need to help your realtors help us find those donors now, because the Boys and Girls Club and the veteran group and the homeless shelter, they're all going to be talking about charitable gifts of real estate. So let's get those for you.
That sounds like an awesome thing to do. So Cami, thank you so much for joining me. This has been such a pleasure. Okay, I always bring you really amazing people that I interview through my Kick Butt Leadership, and this one is right at the top. So sign in again, and there'll be another one coming up. Cami, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for what you're doing in the world, Connie. We need more people like you on the planet, and I'm honored to call you my friend.
Oh, it's back at you. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Time while creating the life you want. Welcome to the Agent Power Huddle.
Welcome to one of the very, very last Agent Power Huddles of 2021. I almost forgot what year it was, Cami. That's kind of funny. It's been a long year. We got a couple more this year, and this one's going to be awesome. We have a brand new first-time guest here named Cami Baker. Cami, how are you?
I am fabulous, fierce, and on fire. Thank you for letting me say that one more time today.
Ooh, that is a really good affirmation. Fabulous, fierce, and on fire. Patrina's clapping her hands. By the way, so Cami, just so you know, our audience is kind of split. We have people who will be here live on Zoom, people watching on Facebook, and then people listening to the recorded podcast weeks from now, months from now, years from now. Could be 2027. Someone's listening to this and they're just like, Cami is still fabulous, fierce, and on fire, right?
Well, and they can look back and see where it all started with
There you
our
go.
fabulous movement around charitable gifting of real estate. And they can look back and see, oh, look at all the billions of dollars that these agents have brought in.
And that is it, guys. Cami reached out to me on Facebook. She's friends with Ryan Smith, the guy, if you remember, from Launch Your Farm. And she said, hey, I was on his podcast. He said you'd be a good fit for yours. And I was like, yeah, charitable gift giving related to growing a real estate business. Tell me more. So the program is called the Real Agent of Change, correct, Cami?
That's the tribe. Like that's who we've become known as, the RAOC for short. But our mission and our goal is to have $1 billion a year donated to the nonprofit pipeline. And that translates into $50 million of commission to real estate agents, because every piece of real estate that's donated needs to be listed and liquidated so we can give the cash to the nonprofit.
Wow. Okay. So this combines pretty much everything I love, which is making a difference, making an impact, and making money. They all go together. So just tell me that I get the mission. And the people listening to this, by the way, we have new agents, experienced agents, team leaders who have giant teams, team members, all across the board. Is someone who's just kind of hearing about your group for the first time, tell us a little more about the basic concept. Like how does it work?
Well, the beauty for everybody watching is I guarantee there is no one else in your marketplace doing this. This is a unique sales proposition, but our goal by 2025 is that there are charitable real estate specialists and charitable real estate divisions in every major market in this country, and we're well on our way to that. So my background is real estate. I was a listing agent in New Hampshire for many, many years, did a lot of door knocking and prospecting. I was a Mike Ferry agent. I was very active, assertive, dare I say aggressive as a real estate agent. So I know what our real estate friends want. I know what they need. I've been past some realtors in the driveway coming and going, competing for listings for 15 years. And while I was a real estate agent, I bought my dream car, which is the 64.5 Mustang convertible. And with that car, I started doing car shows. And I learned from the very first car show that it was a fabulous way for me to market myself and go meet and mingle with the right people. Social responsibility isn't just the right thing to do, it's the necessary thing to do if you want to build your business in a very purposeful way. So fast forward a couple of years ago, I'm at a conference. I'm not an active realtor anymore, but I'm at a conference about nonprofit and for-profit, and I hear the magical words, this unicorn that brings real estate and nonprofits together, charitable gifting of real estate. So I'm going to let your viewers hear why have you never heard of it, how big the opportunity is, and how you can take legacy listings at a full commission and really, honest to God, make money making a difference. So number one, the reason why I had never heard of it with 15 years in real estate and all the nonprofit stuff I did with Ronald McDonald House and Make-A-Wish and all these nonprofits is because there's 1.3 million nonprofits, and 99.9% of them, if you offer them 500 cash or the deed to a $500,000 piece of property, they will take the cash and say, have a nice day. They won't take real estate. It's confusing, it's risky. And even if I sit on their board to explain it to them, it costs money. There are mortgages to be paid off. What if it needs a roof? What about the holding costs? They just don't have the wherewithal. So that's why we've never heard of it. Jesse, if nonprofits won't take real estate, there's no point teaching it to realtors, right? So the second thing that I learned is that, go ahead.
But is this happening a lot? Is there a lot?
Yes. Yes. So that's the second thing I want to share with you. $9 billion a year is donated to nonprofits through the gifting of real estate. But when you see the big picture of the fact that these nonprofits are bringing in almost 500 billion, it's really a poor 2%, when 43% of our wealth is held in real estate. So average donation, $550,000 from one piece of residential real estate, 900,000 from commercial. So if you do the numbers, there's about 16,000 donations a year that are happening with a very small, elite, exclusive group of people who know what this is and have tapped into it. Now, experts say, and I'm becoming one of those experts, that the 9 billion will be 29 billion a year because of the 43% that we hold in real estate. So it's happening. It's been happening for 100 years. Since 1917, United States government put this on the the tax code. Hey, listen, if you'll donate a piece of real estate to a nonprofit, you pay no capital gains tax. Friends, you're in real estate. You got all these clients who want to avoid capital gains tax. The 1031 tax exchange is kind of precarious right at this moment. This is a way for them to avoid taxes. And even better, 80% of the people who donate real estate do it because it's the right thing to do. They are a veteran and they love our veterans. They got a house full of cats and they love our animals. In other words, they do it for the right reasons. So when I saw all of this with the filter that I had, real estate agents, nonprofits, I said, there are 2 million realtors in this country. What if we certify 1% to bring it back to their marketplaces? Not even 1%, half of a half a percent, to bring it back to their marketplaces so that instead of donating $100 or 10% of your commission or only helping 2 or 3 nonprofits, you can be the go-to realtor for your area, for hundreds of nonprofits to want to work with you, taking legacy listings at a full commission.
That's, I just keep myself on mute to let you roll because this is awesome, Cami. Sarah just typed in the chat box, mind blown, right? So if you guys are watching, by the way, those of you who are here but not on camera, unless you're multitasking and running around and you really just turn your camera on so Cami can know she's talking to real people and jump in and ask questions. I'd love to have this be a discussion. It's kind of blowing my mind. Does this happen in all markets in the US? Is there any places you found where like it's not happening, or is it really pretty much everywhere?
Great question. So this is a United States-based tax code. 1917, the US government said, if you, property owner, will donate real estate and any other type of thing, right? But real estate for our conversation, you don't pay capital gains tax and you can write off the appraised value, regardless of what it sells for, as the basis for your tax deduction. Now, I don't want to get into all the numbers and all the complicated stuff. We get into that in the master class. So we have a charitable real estate master class that we do live on Zoom and in a room on the 3rd Tuesday of the month. And it's actually now evergreen. So if people want to take that class anytime, you can learn all the specifics about how this all works. But yeah, it's all over the country. And as a matter of fact, if a piece of property is anywhere in the world and the owner has tax consequences in the United States, they can apply that property to this law as well. So it's just, it blew my mind too. Jesse, 15 years in real estate, constantly doing social responsibility, did that car show for 7 years, leveraging it as a way to get out and meet and mingle with people.